From a meal with an epic view to an intimate culinary affair. If you can't find something great to eat in the Florida Keys, you can always order online. The Florida Keys and Key West.
When my business started offering online purchases, orders took off. But we didn't have enough cash flow to sustain our inventory. Thankfully, we found Bluevine. Within hours, I was approved for a $75,000 line of credit. Bluevine's line of credit is better than a typical business loan. I have access to cash on demand, and I only pay for what I use. Thanks to Bluevine, I'll never have to scramble for financing again, and I can focus on growing my business.
Get up to $250,000 in as fast as 24 hours. Visit trybluevine.com and apply now.
It's frustrating when you can't see clearly. Imagine there were wiper blades that did more than just wipe away the rain. Rain-X Latitude Water Repellency 2-in-1 wiper blades. Our revolutionary blades include the water-beating magic of Rain-X and works by applying the repellent directly to the glass. So water magically beads up and rolls away while you drive. Compared to traditional wipers, the difference is amazing. That's why Rain-X just won the prestigious Product of the Year award. Rain-X, outsmart the elements.
Flex Seal. Always have a can of Flex Seal in my house. Always.
This stuff is awesome.
Best stuff ever got.
I'm not sure what magic you guys do, but the stuff is incredibly durable.
Imagine everything you could do with the Flex Seal family of products.
So in this commercial, we see two travelers at a Comfort Inn with a glow around them. So people watching will be like, wow, maybe I'll glow too if I book direct at choicehotels.com.
Who glows? Just say bada book, bada boom.
Book now at choicehotels.com.
Showdown in Venezuela. Sitting President Maduro versus self-declared President Guaido. A battle over foreign aid deliveries. Who's winning? Who will lead the nation? Fareed has the latest. Fareed Zakaria GPS. Live this morning, 10 Eastern.
99 on 309 for the best deals all the time with America's best warranty. Satisfaction guarantee.
Ciocca makes it easy for everyone to lease an Elantra because it's just $99 a month. Choose an all-wheel drive Kona for only $159 a month, or lease a Tucson for only $169 a month.
99 on 309.
$99 a month and Hyundai Assurance. Only at Ciocca Hyundai in Quakertown. Online at CioccaHyundai.com.
You. All of you. How you live. And what you love. That's what inspired us to create America's most advanced internet. Internet that puts you in charge. That protects what's important. That handles everything and reaches everywhere. This is beyond Wi-Fi. This is XFi. Simple, easy, awesome. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
36 Hours with the Taliban on The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer tomorrow at 6.
Closed captioning brought to you by Flex Seal family of products.
Flex Seal. Always have a can of Flex Seal.
This stuff is awesome.
Best stuff ever got.
Imagine everything you could do with the Flex Seal family of products.
25 minutes past the hour, and we are following this morning the deadly clashes on the Venezuelan border. Sources say at least 5 people are dead, more than 285 are injured, as Venezuelan security forces fought with protesters near the Colombian border. Take a look at what was happening there. Opposition leader Juan Guaido was forcibly stopped by Nicolas Maduro from bringing aid into the country. That's what they were trying to do, and there were buses of aid that were completely wasted because they were just set on fire.
Devastating. In response, Guaido urging people not to be loyal to those that, quote, burn medicine and food in front of the sick and hungry. On Saturday, the Venezuelan National Guard scattered protesters with tear gas and rubber bullets, and nearly all trucks carrying supplies were either blocked or burned. Joining me now is Democratic Congressman Tom Malinowski from New Jersey. Good to see you, Congressman. Let's talk about this crisis in Venezuela and the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, tweeting about the situation there. And he asked this question: what kind of a sick tyrant stops food from getting to hungry people? The images of burning trucks filled with aid are sickening. Are you supportive of the Trump administration actions there? Are you optimistic of a peaceful ending for the people of Venezuela?
I'm not normally supportive of the Trump administration's foreign policy, but in this case, I think they've gone about it the right way. They've lined us up with the Organization for American States, with the European Union. They've built a coalition of countries that are standing behind what I think is the legitimately elected government of the Venezuelan people. I think we've got to stay the course here. We've got to stand tough, push for humanitarian aid to go in, work with our allies in the region and Europe, and let's not do anything stupid like try to escalate to a military confrontation.
Well, therein lies the question. What is that next step? And Marco Rubio, your colleague in the Senate, tweeted about that possibility. And he says, after discussions tonight with several regional leaders, it's now clear that the grave crimes committed today by the Maduro regime have opened the door to various potential multilateral actions not on the table just 24 hours ago. Would you warn against any type of military action there in Venezuela?
I think the main thing is that we got to maintain the legitimacy of our policy, and that means standing behind the countries in the region that have been taking the lead rather than doing something unilaterally. We shouldn't be dropping hints of military intervention that we may not be willing to back up with actual actions. The policy that we have with sanctions, with a focus on humanitarian aid, encouraging Venezuelan military and police to stand with their own people, that's something that we should stay the course with. I think it can work.
We'll get a better sense of the administration's plans and policies when Mike Pence, the vice president, gives a speech there tomorrow in Colombia, and Juan Guaido will meet with him. But I want to ask you about the week ahead in D.C. in the nation's capital. Michael Cohen, the former Trump attorney and personal fixer for Donald Trump, will appear before Congress, meeting at 3 different hearings, 2 closed door, 1 will be public. You are not on the committees that get to question Michael Cohen, but what would you like to hear? What are your colleagues after this week?
I think we should step back and remember what we already know. There's a lot we don't know, but we already know that Russia interfered in our election to help Donald Trump win, that the Trump campaign welcomed that assistance, that they didn't tell the FBI about what they were hearing from the Russians, that President Trump was building a tower, or trying to build a tower in Moscow with Putin's help all the way through the campaign, and he was lying to the American people about it. And then when the FBI director tried to investigate Russian interference, Trump fired him. All that stuff we already know. So, sure, I'd like to hear Michael Cohen's take on all that. I'd certainly like to hear in particular about those dealings between candidate Trump and the Russians on building real estate in Moscow during the campaign, which is an extraordinary thing to have happened in American politics, even as you remember, he was taking positions throughout the campaign designed to make Putin very, very happy about the potential course of a future Trump administration. So that's what I'd like to learn more about, but we already know enough to condemn President Trump for his cooperation with Russia and the stances that he's taken, potentially as a result of his desire to get close to Putin.
Of course, as you well know, your Republican colleagues will point out Michael Cohen is not a credible witness. But I also want to ask you about something happening on Tuesday. The House will vote to block President Trump's national emergency on the southern border. Presumably there are the votes in the House. How many Republicans do you believe will join with Democrats in the House? And then within 18 days, what is its future in the Senate? What does it mean if Republicans don't stand up for the Constitution and vote to block this emergency?
You know, we were just talking about Venezuela, where we have a crisis because a tyrant is usurping the constitution of that country, defying his elected Congress. And here in the United States, we have a president who is, in effect, doing or beginning to do the same thing, declaring a state of emergency to take money from the U.S. military, to seize land from Texas ranchers, to build a wall that the Congress of the United States refused to give him money to build. That shouldn't happen in a constitutional democracy. And most of my Republican colleagues know this perfectly well. If they're principled conservatives, they do not want to set a precedent that a future Democratic president could use to do things that they don't want, that they haven't given a future Democrat the permission to do. So I believe a lot of Republicans are going to join with us in the House. When we pass it in the House, it goes to the Senate, and they have to vote. Mitch McConnell can't block this resolution.
Right.
So every Republican will have to say yes or no on a state of emergency in America.
One Republican co-sponsor in the House is Justin Amash. One Republican in the Senate for now, Susan Collins, looks like she'll vote with Democrats. But that is all as of right now. Perhaps that number will change. Congressman Tom Malinowski, thanks very much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right.
And North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on his way right now to the summit with President Trump in Hanoi, Vietnam. Why is President Trump already downplaying expectations for their second meeting? We're going to ask our expert about that next. And Senator Kamala Harris is John King's guest on Inside Politics this morning in the next hour, live from Iowa, today, 8 a.m. Eastern, right here on CNN.
Isn't what goes into your soup just as important as what you get out of it? Our broccoli cheddar is made with aged melted cheddar, simmered broccoli, and no artificial flavors. Enjoy 100% clean soup today. Panera, food as it should be.
From the start, the C-Class was ahead of its time. Still, we never stopped making it stronger, faster, smarter. Because to be the best is to never, ever stop making it better. Introducing the new C-Class. Lease the C300 sedan for $429 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz.